tamu sana. Tamu sana is tamu. Yes. There are 2 viral videos doing rounds online as I talk right now. The first video is about Didmas Baraza, literally in broad daylight, bribing residents of Kabuchai constituency as they waited for William Ruto. The second video was taken, I think, in Emali. You know, about 3 days ago, William Ruto toured some parts of Machakos in Makueni County, to be specific, Emali. And the Tanga Brigade, the wheelbarrow team, circulated some videos of William Ruto being given a heroic welcome, which I don't deny. But these 2 videos are painting the alternative truth about William Ruto's recent visits in Western and also in some parts of Ukambani. I want you to have a look at these 2 videos, after which we are going to dissect them and put them squarely where they belong. We are actually going to unearth the truth behind William Ruto's visits in Ukambani and also in some parts of Western. Have a look at these videos.
Watu wa Junction tumekubaliana sisi. Harambee. Kazi ni kazi. Basi mimi nimeshukuru sana, nimefurahi, asante sana.
Yes. From the first video, you can see clearly Didmas Baraza dishing out money to some residents of Kabuchai. You can see women lining themselves and they're being given money. And after they've been given money, you can see them cheering up and ululating. Yes. And then the second video, you can see William Ruto shouting at the top of his voice order, but residents there are replying, wiper. Wiper. Yes. So why are we, or why am I exposing all this? You know, information like this, ladies and gentlemen, you will never get them in the mainstream media. The mainstream media are very, very silent about some of these things. And on the other hand, Tanga leadership and their supporters are very, very busy circulating videos of William Ruto being cheered wildly and being given a heroic welcome in those areas, which is their right and which they are entitled to. But now the disconnect is here. There is a perception being sent out that William Ruto is actually very, very popular. Very, very popular. But in these forums, ladies and gentlemen, we do analyze and dissect things clearly as they are without massaging anybody's ego. We expose the truth as it is. The mainstream media will never highlight these things. So what does this show about William Ruto and about the Tanga brand of politics and actually what is happening on the ground? Just to start with the first video of Didmas Baraza. You know, William Ruto has been really trying. He has been making some frantic efforts to move the Mulembe nation to his side. Yes. And they've been using all sorts of means. One is that one we have seen of Didmas Baraza, giving out money. It's not bad to give out money because that's the nature of Kenyan politics. All politicians do that. But the truth behind the scene is that William Ruto might not be as popular as the Tanga group are maybe trying to portray him. He might not be all that popular. Just some days ago, we did talk about the fake crowds. And from that video of Didmas Baraza dishing out money to those women, I can confidently say, without a iota of any doubt at all, that those are fake crowds. Crowds that have been mobilized to be there to welcome William Ruto. They are not William Ruto's true supporters. That's a bought crowd. Fake crowd. And then in the case of Ukambani, where we have seen residents shouting wiper, it's also a clear indication that even though Oda or Tanga Brigade are trying to sell a narrative that they are popular everywhere, including Machakos or Ukambani, the truth of the matter is that in Ukambani, the person to beat there or the party to beat there is none other than Kalonzo Musyoka and the Wiper Party. That comes out very, very clearly. And that's why I've always maintained in this YouTube channel, I've always maintained that assuming William Ruto will contest for the presidency, from where I sit, I strongly believe that when our politics will get charged properly, we might find William Ruto only getting votes in his own Kalenjin ethnic background. I'm saying that with a lot of confidence. There is a precedent that has always been set before in this country. Any candidate contesting for the presidency for the very, very first time, that candidate history has told us that that candidate always only manages votes from his own ethnic community, unless that candidate is supported by the government. So I believe William Ruto will not be an exception next year. Those two incidences just confirms and lends credence to what I'm saying. If you had seen the kind, or rather if you had seen the Tanga group, Dennis Itumbi, on the day William Ruto toured Ukambani, then you could be tempted into believing that actually William Ruto is very, very popular in Cumberland. But the truth of the matter, folks, without taking sides, our politics is largely ethnic. Residents, or rather Kenyans, vote along ethnic lines. And the direction is always being given to them by their ethnic kingpins. And that's why I also differ with quite a number of my friends when we meet maybe on the streets. They always tell me of how William Ruto is very popular in Mount Kenya, or rather on the mountain. But I always tell them that that is maybe just a perception. That's just a perception. You can hear these people shouting how William Ruto is very popular on the mountain as of now. That's simply because there is no election to be done tomorrow. If you hear these leaders jump shifting from maybe dumping Keleweke going to Uda and that, these leaders most likely they have not performed in their own constituencies. So maybe they believe that the people are rejecting them because maybe they are not in Uda. The truth of the matter here is that the leaders themselves, they have not performed in their own constituencies. And then to add on top of that, just to add a little on top of that, wananchi, this raia can be very, very deceptive. They can cheat you that they are with so and so or with candidate so and so. They can cheat you. But at the right time, when now they know there is an election to be undertaken, the masses, they largely listen to their ethnic kingpins. And I'm still here to be convinced that Mount Kenya will not listen to Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm still yet to be convinced about that. Because from where I sit, I believe that when now the bells of the next election next year will be rung, Mount Kenya, I believe, will face, or rather will look where Uhuru is to the last person. That's what I believe. And then just to sum it up with these two videos of today, that's just an indication that some of these huge crowds you see in these rallies, some of these crowds, let me put it, a majority of these big crowds, these are fake crowds. And that's why now it should not be used, the size of the crowd should not be used to gauge the popularity of a politician. Though I also ironically believe that also the size of the crowd again also shows a politician's popularity. When the crowd is a genuine crowd, not one that has been bought. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, for today, let me just leave it there. If you've just bumped on this YouTube channel for the very, very first time, just as I did mention, subscribe and also give this video a like. If you are watching us for the very, very first time outside of Kenya, drop a comment and let us know from which part of the globe you are also watching us from. And to our continued fans and subscribers in this YouTube channel, God bless you. God bless Kenya. Tamu sana. Tamu sana, yes, tamu.